Good afternoon, Figaholics friends. Today is January 5th. It's Wednesday. Um, we had some delays in getting started on our pruning, but we're expect to make real good progress. For one thing, I decided to do a tagging system of all of my trees, primarily to make it easier to find trees. We end up having long rows and trying to remember if we're on tree 13 or 18 or something like that, and having to recount to make sure we don't make a mistake. Thank God I don't think we've ever made a mistake because of being in the wrong place on the wrong tree. But it just, is something that has slowed us down. And then also, I have an electronic map, a spreadsheet of all my tree locations, and I don't always come out to the orchard with my map and I see a nice fig and I'm not really quite sure what this is. And this is something I've given some thought to, for some time on, to develop something that would work for us. A second reason, and not as important, but is to reduce the risk of theft. I don't believe we've ever had anything stolen from us from our orchards, or even potted trees. I know some people who've reported such thefts, though, and you make it pretty handy for a thief if you've got a nice tag on them for them to find what they're looking for, and especially a potted tree, they've got it already tagged there, nice and convenient. So I developed a system, and so now every tree out here has a tag, and it still has a number on it that relates to my electronic map. So if I bring my spreadsheet out here, I can use that. But also it's got a QR code on it. And we've seen these QR codes. I ended up switching. This is a QR code that I made through Google Chrome, which I ended up somewhat regretting. Some of those didn't work for me, so I switched to another QR code generator, and it worked out just as fast. I thought that the Chrome QR code generator was going to make it easier for me, but it just wasn't working for me. So the way I've done it, you can buy a service that allows you to store dynamic QR codes. This is getting beyond figs there, but that was something I didn't want to spend the money for. Something I learned from my dad is, the easiest way to make sure you make money is not to spend a bunch of money unnecessarily. And so if I find things that I really need and I think are going to really pay for themselves, I'll pay good money for it. But if it's something I don't need or I can do myself, I end up going that route to save the money. A penny saved is a penny earned, so they say. So I gave it some thought, and what I did is I created a private Facebook group that it also has some advantages. I can add someone to it. Right now, just my wife and one friend are in it besides myself. And so if I scan this QR code, it takes me to that Facebook group. It doesn't give me just a variety name. In many cases, I put the source I got it from, the date I planted it, if it was grafted onto another rootstock, and so forth. And so you can add a lot more information. And if I pull this tree out and plant something else, I don't have to replace the tag. I just change the information in that Facebook group. The one risk I have, of course, is if Facebook, in one of their whims of many different things, they put people in Facebook jail or whatever. If they disable my group or something like that, then I will have to start over. But it wasn't that bad of a process to do, and a lot of it was the learning process. So anyway, our trees are good and dormant now, and another delay, unfortunately, it looks like our one employee that we've had working for us for a couple of years has COVID, and he's waiting for his PCR test results. But we had been in the process of hiring a second employee, full-time employee. As I've mentioned in some of my videos before, that in different posts, that I've wanted to slow down and have thoughts of retirement someday, at least at some point in the future, and trying to figure out how I can slow down. And so decided to hire someone that we can train, to at least do some of my work, and especially some of the administrative stuff, planning and follow-up, maintenance of or supervision of our other worker, making sure that tasks are getting carried out, and also even maybe planting additional acres of crops, because for many things we have more demand than we have supply. So our new employee was supposed to start today, but some flight delays after visiting family there, he'll start tomorrow. So he and I will get out here pruning, and Linda will be washing and sanitizing and getting the cuttings in our walk-in cooler. Hopefully in another 10 days or so we'll be close to being ready. I don't know, people keep emailing me and asking me when our sale is going to start. Obviously it's not going to be tomorrow, and some people say, oh, I heard it was going to be early January. I've never said early January. Mid-January was my target. 2 years ago it was maybe February 1st. Last year we got it done faster, February 15th. So when I start getting closer to the launch date, I'll be posting how far away I think I am. And so please don't email us. I get frustrated having to spend time emailing people when I don't really have any good information to share with them. When I have good information to share, I'll post it on both our fig cutting page at figaholics.com /cuttings.htm, and also on our Facebook page, which at Facebook you can just go Facebook /figaholics, uppercase F for Figaholics. So I'll post updates there. So anyway, you can see we've got lots of cuttings available here, and we're going to change some things, and I just explained some of this on our website. Last year, for instance, we have a tree that's very popular and a new variety, and I pruned 100 cuttings, and I think, boy, that'll take a while to sell out, and instead it sells out in 15 minutes. And so I went out into the orchard at 11 o'clock at night maybe, or whatever, looking at the tree, and I figured, okay, we can prune 32 more cuttings off of this. So I add that to the cart. Well, what we'll do this time in place of that is prune what we think that is a reasonable number to sell, and say it's 100 or 60, whatever, but I'll count how many more cuttings I think I can prune, and if I prune 60 and I think I can prune 22 more, I'll add 82 in the cart, and I'll set up an alert to myself so that, okay, we've now sold those 60, we need to go out and prune the additional to meet the additional orders. But there won't be a pause for people that are ordering. Another change we're going to do, and I had done this 2 years ago, we're not going to combine orders. People begged for that, and I relented and did that, and what a nightmare that causes for us. For many people it's not a big deal, but when I have some people greatly abusing the system, we had 2 individual customers place 22 orders, and one of them was for 1 cutting each. They weren't breaking any rules, but just some common sense. I thought that, come on now, having to go through 1,600 orders and finding all 22 of their orders to combine them, that was just slowing us down and not productive use of our time. So 0 combining of orders this year, unless I catch something myself and I think it'll be easier for us not cheaper for the customer, easier for us to ship 2 orders together. And that would be maybe when, okay, I see that their second order is going to ship the same day anyway. Let's put it in the same box and I don't have to do another label. And if I refund any shipping, I'll decide it at the time. But anyway, we're trying to do, orders in an efficient process. And, people are impatient waiting for their cuttings, and I understand they want to get going, but we have to do things that just make good sense. And which everyone I know isn't going to agree, but anyway, so you can see, again, getting back to the main point here, we have tags. On the back side of the tag, we have handwritten in a permanent ink. And by the way, these are livestock ear tags. Imagine the poor cow that has to have a hole punched in her ear to get this. So we've saved some cows from some pain and suffering. I guess we bought several hundred ear tags, and no trees were damaged in the installation of these. We hang them with some wire on this trellis wire that supports our drip line. And so, if I don't need to know the specific information, I know I need to go to tree A5. I can find it if it's written on the back side of it, if I'm standing on the other side of this tag. These tags are Brother P-Touch tags, which my friend Dave back in Connecticut, I believe, first posted about these. He's had some exposed outside in extreme elements for at least 4 years and still in perfect shape. I've had some for a couple years that look like brand new. So I decided I could rely on these and help find my trees, and also find out more information about it. That helps too. And if I'm going to do another YouTube video about a tree and I'm out here and I'm trying to remember what year I planted it, well, I can scan my QR code and know more about it. We didn't want to put it on the T-post because during the growing season it's hard to even see the T-post on many of these trees, especially a tree like this. Trying to get in there through all the leaves, I'd get a lot of big latex sap on me, I guess. So anyway, I've explained this. This is an idea that other people are, maybe wanting to experiment and try, especially if they think that their trees are at risk of being stolen. But just even finding out lots of information on their tree. Their QR code can give them lots of information. If you're not worried at all about theft, then you could just use a QR code that's not in a secure location. You can just, it doesn't have to be a website link. It can just be a string of text and that explains everything. But if I did, while I'm doing this, I thought if I do all of that, then it's going to make it easier for theft. And so I decided to do it in this private, secure manner. Again, hope everyone is staying safe, and please be patient and wait for our free cutting sale coming up soon. Thanks, and have a good time.